Right, so real quick chat, a little bit of backstory on this job I'm now on. I'm going to hang some doors in this house. I think I've only got like one more door to hang. It was a set of doors with a rebate and the latch, that so you can close one door, flick the latch, have the other one close into it, and then another one. So two sets of them. One is a fake door and one is a normal door. Have to do some weird little things, like the doors that are coming out were like 45mm and the doors that are going in are like 34mm, so I had to pack out the frame a little bit with a bit of MDF. Obviously the handles and latch are a little bit more complicated when it comes to the rebate. One of the rebated sets I could rebate within the door because the doors were big enough to do that. Another one I'm going to have to add a little bit to create the rebate, so a little bit of work in that. The customer bought the doors. Turns out he bought one set of doors that were just a little bit too big, so I've had to take some of the frame out, plane the frame down, put it back. So a little bit of extra work, but not a great deal of extra work, just a little bit. So, for all intents and purposes, it was pack out the frame a little bit to make up for the different door thickness and 6 doors to hang, but not completely normal doors, a little bit more tricky than normal, and want them to be perfect as well, because this customer is very particular, and I know that he is because I've worked for him before. I fitted his kitchen. So I quoted £750, I believe, which was like, I thought 3 days work, £250 a day. There we go. Turns out I was fucking wrong. I've already been here almost 3 days, just like an hour or two off. This is now going to be the 4th day, which is not a complete day because I've had to do some running around. So I've underquoted. So the moral of this story is, don't go best case scenario, go worst case scenario, which I didn't do. And also I've come to the conclusion that £250 day rate, or not day rate, £250 a day that I quote, if I think it's going to be a day for £250, that's not enough. It has to be £300. That would have made this job just about okay, I think. I still probably underestimated the time duration. Bottom line is, I don't, £250 a day, if you can get it, is nice, but that's if you can get it, if you haven't messed up your quote. And also, is it enough? Is it enough when you take all your overheads into consideration? Like, I got to buy van insurance this week. Yeah, I'm going to be candid with you. Basically, my business account is low. Yeah, it just about floats on nothing, and that's not how it should be. I don't do enough work direct for customers, which is the main issue. So that is something I'm going to change this year. There's extra ball ache, but it has to be done because I need to bring home extra income. It just has to be. So this is this update. I've taken some footage of this job and I'm going to put a little montage together, so there's going to be a little entertainment that goes with this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to keep you in the loop, try and make some of these little updates so that I can learn. Obviously I want you to take some information from this. If this helps, all good, but rather selfishly, I want to help myself because I don't seem to be making a very good job of things. I mean, I make a good job of things practically, like the end result for the customer is always good, but yeah, I don't seem to be bringing home the bacon as much as I'd like. So that's my focus. So here we go. What is the time? Time is about 10 o'clock. I can work for an hour, which basically get set up, and then I've got to nip off to the dentist, come back, finish this job. Bish bash bosh. Let's get on with it. Right, okay, so an update. Some specifics about the job. Like I said before, it was 6 doors. Couple of them, 4 of them are rebated. One pair I could rebate within the door itself. Had enough meat on there. The other pair had to add the rebate. I've now been on the job for 4 days. I charged £750. So if you divide that by 4, you'll see that that is a really crap day rate. And by the way, haven't finished. So job is ridiculously fiddly. Weird little bits like adding on that rebate, cutting a fiddly rebate, cutting it nice, making it look good, having to take notches out of the rebate to account for the like inset bolts that go on the closed leaf has just been so time consuming. And also I cut the rebate, the one that had to be added onto the door, out of a piece of oak threshold that the customer had, and it's a slightly different colour. The door is more pink oak and this is more of a sort of like got a hint of green in there, and I'm pretty sure the customer is going to have a problem with it. Had to sort of like oversize the rebate so I could work with it, pin it on, then plane it down, but then gradually knock the pins in after every swipe of the plane. And as you probably know, second fix pins through solid oak into the solid bit of oak on the door, they're not gonna sink easily, are they? So much fiddliness on this job. It isn't just a case of hanging a normal door in a normal frame, especially when it's rebate and it's 2 doors coming into each other. There's so many variables that you have to consider if you want it to look decent. So, like I said, how much have I earned? Haven't finished the job. 4 days divided by 750, and I'm gonna have to come back and put on a normal handle and latch, and also a handle that goes into a rebated latch, and also plant an extra bit on to create a rebate on another door. So probably looking at another half a day. So bottom line, I fucked up. Didn't charge nowhere near enough. And if the customer's not happy with that piece of wood that's planted on the rebate, he suggested that I use that piece of wood. He's either going to have to source another piece of wood and he's going to have to pay me for taking it off and redoing it. Or, fingers crossed, he just accepts it. Either way, 6 o'clock. I'll finish late because I started late because I had to take the kids to school. Not a happy bunny, battling with stress because it gets stressful when you realise that you're fucked up and you could have easily just worked for a builder on day rate and earned more. So hopefully I can learn from this, and so can you. Don't undersell yourself. It's a fucking hard job, especially when you make a nice job of things. People have to live with this stuff for probably the rest of their lives sometimes. So if they're not willing to pay the price, then they don't get the work. Now, I need to practice what I preach. So, good luck with your pricing, and I'll try and learn from my mistakes. Right, so I'm back on my door job. Charity day, as I messed up so much. I'm going to be working most if not all of the day for nothing. But I've got a few little bits to do on this job. I've got to finish adding a rebate to a door, and then put the ironmongery on, pack out the frame a bit of MDF. I've written it down what I need to do, and it's coming in at about, I can't remember if it was about 5 or 6 hours. As I mentioned before, I've actually had to add a rebate to a door, not put the rebate in the door, but add a piece of oak to the door to create a rebate. And when I was doing it, the piece of oak was a slightly different colour to the oak on the door, and this piece of oak was suggested by the client and supplied, so he said use that, but he did notice it was a different colour. The door was a bit pinky and this is a bit greeny, and I haven't seen him since I stuck it up, so fingers crossed he's just gonna say, I know he'll mention it, but whether or not he decides to keep it or not is another story. So fingers crossed on that one, because my day is relying on that, because I want to work here for 6 hours and then I want to spend 2 hours on another job putting scotia around a laminate floor that I done. Got to finish that. So I haven't got any milk in my coffee this morning because I ran out, so I'm just going to have a little sip of very strong coffee, and then I'm going to get on with it. Yeah, that'll all be alright. Let's go. Right, so Captain's log update. He was happy with the piece of oak that I put on, even though it was a slightly different colour. He's accepted it. He was fine. The rest of the job went as expected. So I think basically when the job had taken 4 days, I was already running lower than what I would be if I was just working on a day rate for a builder for say £190/£200. And then today I've added another 6 hours onto that to get finished. But everything went to plan and it did get finished and it does look good. And I didn't stress myself out too much about the loss, just accepted it and moved on. So the lessons that I've learned from this is something that I already knew, but it's now been reinforced. Don't quote best case scenario, quote worst case scenario, so that you don't have to rush and so that you can actually enjoy the job. And also I quoted it on a £250 day, if that makes sense. I based it on a good day earning me £250. I'm now changing that to £300 because I don't think that that's over the top, because it covers your ass and it makes it so that you're not working for nothing. Because like I think I've mentioned before, my business account just teeters on basically nothing. So sometimes I even have to reimburse it. So I'm clearly doing something wrong. But with that being said, I don't do a great deal of my own jobs. I often just work for builders for day rate, and that is no way to I mean, it is fine if that sustains you, but as a single man who's trying to make his way in the world, as in support his family and also support himself, that's just not enough. So I have to pursue my own work, and I've made a slight mistake with a few jobs. Some jobs have gone really well, but I don't think that that's being greedy, aiming for £300 a day, because by the time you take all your expenses out of it, which is a lot, I think that the last couple of years my expenses for running the business over the course of a year, like van and insurance, and it might have even been buying a van for like £3,000, have been, you wouldn't get much change out of £10,000. So if you earn say £40,000, take that immediately down to £30,000 before you've even paid tax. You know, and that comes with a lot of work. So £300 isn't extortionate at all. I might be completely wrong. It might even be low, but you got to try convincing the customer that we haven't got to convince anybody at the end of the day. They can take it or leave it. I don't think that that's bad value to have somebody around your house doing a skilled job, making a nice job of things, something that you've got to live with for potentially the rest of your life. You want it done nice. The person is bringing thousands of pounds worth of tools, and they're bringing skill and they're bringing responsibility. That's easily worth £300. So that is my biggest takeaway from this door fiasco. But at the end of the day, nobody got hurt. I can live to fight another day. I've still got my health, which is the main thing. As long as you've got your health and a good attitude, the possibilities are endless. Couple of little things that have helped get me through recently is coffee and music. Fucking love music, and I love getting in the van and then blasting a little bit of music, because it really can replenish your energy levels, and you've got to enjoy the little things in life to get you through the slog. So this is where I'm going to end it. Hopefully this has been some help to others as well. Don't sell yourself short. Don't stress yourself out. Go in with optimism and love, and try your best. That's all you can do. Try your best with the limited resources that you have and the limited amount of time that you have. As long as you're trying your best, you can go to sleep happy.